Tony Stewart made it clear during his appearance this week on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio that the performance at Stewart-Haas Racing was unacceptable. The three-time Cup Series champion specifically highlighted the two previous subpar years of the four-car team that rendered just a pair of back-to-back wins in 2022 by the now-departed Kevin Harvick. However, there are a couple of things the NASCAR Hall of Famer surprisingly left out. First, this problem isn't just the last couple of seasons with the next-gen car, as Stewart would have you believe. It actually started the year before. And second, Stewart talked about how they're going to miss the leadership of Kevin Harvick and Aric Almirola. Interestingly, based on an interview with Chase Briscoe just a few days earlier, the two veteran drivers were part of the problem. Kevin Harvick was dominant in 2020, winning an impressive 9 times. As we all know, he came up short of winning the title. A year later, Harvick went winless in a season for the first time in his career since 2009. Unfortunately, the number 4 team wasn't alone. Rookie Chase Briscoe and Cole Custer didn't find victory lane either. The only SHR car to win in 2021 was Aric Almirola at New Hampshire. That summer, Tony Stewart bluntly admitted there was a problem at the company.
It is that time of year where you can reflect back, and it's not been a season that we're proud of by any means. I mean, we definitely have a problem in our organization, and it's not with people, but there's something that we're missing on that's cost us the entire season up to this point, and we can't find it. But we know there's something fundamentally wrong, but we've got everybody in the shop working to try to, we have to figure out what the problem is. That's going to be the hardest part. Once we figure out what the problem is, it always leads the first part. That's the first part of the solution, is knowing what the problem is. So it's frustrating because we're all sitting there scratching our heads trying to figure out what is wrong and what's going on.
Interestingly, Stewart insisted that it wasn't a people problem back then. Now, after 2 additional poor seasons at Stewart-Haas, including last year when the entire organization went without a win, the team owner has seen enough, and his tune has changed. He revealed as much this week during an interview on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio, where he didn't sugarcoat what he thought about the team's lackluster performance over the last few years.
2 miserable years in a row, and I'm tired of getting asked, or I'm tired of taking the blame from everybody why the cars aren't running good. It's like, I think the fans need a reality check and a reminder that I'm not the crew chief, I'm not the engineer, I don't dictate the setups on the cars. I give these guys the tools to do the job, and we just haven't got it done the last couple of years. But, I'm excited about the energy at the shop. We kind of had a rah-rah meeting, and, I will say having 4 young drivers in the shop, it's as much as I was really nervous about it, I'm really excited about the energy that it's brought to the shop. Kevin and Aric were great leaders, and nobody felt worse about it at the end of the year than I did about, those guys moving on to the next step in their lives. But it's hard to sit there and be too upset because I understood when I made that decision too, and why I made that decision.
How soon does Stewart want to see improvement?
We hope we have performance. We hope we can have a good result. But, if all 4 cars get wiped out, we're not going to sit there and say, well, we're going to have a terrible year. So we're going to have to get some races into it. But, if we're not having the results we're looking for, we're going to start making some major changes. So, everybody knows that, everybody understands that, and we got to get our noses in the ground. And not that they haven't been working hard before, but they are going to have to find something, or we'll find people that will find it, because we can't perform at this level. It's just not acceptable anymore.
So Stewart is now open to changing personnel, but is still unsure as to what has been causing the issues at SHR. According to Chase Briscoe, a couple of well-publicized departures in the off-season have already made a difference within the organization because the 4 current drivers are now on the same page and planning to work together, something the 29-year-old driver shockingly admitted wasn't common in the past.
Yeah, I think, the biggest thing is just trying to work together. That's something that, we did to a certain extent, but we kind of ran as 4 separate companies under one roof, where this year, going forward, I think we're trying to be more of just one team with 4 drivers and 4 teams, but they all kind of work in the same direction and try to help each other out. So, from that standpoint, I definitely think with this next-gen car, that makes more sense. With the old car, you could kind of get away with going and doing 4 different things, but now with everybody getting the same stuff, the more information you can get and work together and kind of find that one common setup, I think is definitely kind of the best direction to go. So, yeah, I think that's the biggest thing from our conversations in the off season, just trying to work together from a team standpoint, but also all 4 drivers kind of working together. That's something that we probably haven't done a great job of, at least the whole time I've been in the Cup Series at SHR, is we don't always help each other out on the racetrack. We almost race each other harder. So just trying to work together as a team and kind of all of us pull the rope in the same direction.
What happens in 2024 with SHR remains unclear. However, if the organization does somehow turn it around and improve, which many are not expecting considering their young roster of drivers, Stewart will know what the problem was and will have already addressed it. If the teams continue to struggle, then you can expect more changes will be coming.